I'm going to hit record, and we are here for our 7 levels of communication book talk / mastermind, and we're talking about chapters 8 and 9 today. And again, Julie, I do not put in word for word in your notes, so just, please just speak from your notes, but I did it in order. So it's just kind of like topical for you to know kind of the topic, but trust me, don't read my, you're going to be like reading it and like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking about. So just read from your notes. Okay.
Yeah, if you just went along with, then I'll easily just follow along here like you normally do. And then I kind of, sometimes I read from my notes and, but I'm hoping that somebody will interject and with a question or comment or something. So.
Fantastic.
Electronic communication. Yeah, you should have called. You should always do paperwork face to face. If that's not possible, get them on the phone. So that's like huge, because especially if you're working with like a first-time home buyer or something, they are. I'm working with several right now, first-time home buyers, and I just make it a point to make sure you go over at least the first, if you're, you do an offer, definitely the first time, to get the feel for this legal binding contract that they're signing, understanding. But it's communication is, it's huge, especially with first-time home buyers, because they don't understand, they don't know the whole process. I did teach a first-time homebuyers class last night, my first one, so that was cool. Electronic communication fits into the informational zone in the pyramid at the top. So yeah, that's the pyramid that the 7 levels talks about. Let's see, magical email. Email should be used to inform, confirm, or get people on the phone.
So I want to say a couple things. So first of all, that whole discussion about, going over the paperwork, that kind of spoke to me a lot, because honestly, I think in the past, I mean, I've been lucky, but in the past, I've always just like, hey, sign here, sign here, sign here. This is what it says. Sign here, sign, but I recently had an experience with a first-time home buyer and it was after we went over this, and I'm like, I am going to take a lot more time with this. So I explained to her how I do like e-signatures, and I was with her in person. And so what I did is I went over, she hadn't really decided exactly what she was going to offer, and she really needed to talk to her lender first to just make sure she was feeling really not confident about how much she was offering. So I showed her my dot loop, because I use dot loop, and I showed her the contract. I said, here's what it looks like. This is the address. This is how much we're offering. These are the seller concessions we're offering. Here's what that means. I just went over each and everything. And I said, okay, so I'm going to send this to you for your review, but don't sign anything yet till you're ready. And then if, once you're ready, call me and we're going to talk about it. And then we can sign it, and then we can submit it. And I just felt really good about doing it that way. And I probably would have just skipped over that part if I really hadn't thought about that when we went over this with this particular buyer. And I think that would have been a tragedy, like a really big mishap with this particular buyer. Like I said, I think I've been lucky in the past. And I think I haven't really dealt with a lot of first-time home buyers. And I think this is really my first one. So anyway, I appreciated that. And then the other thing I like about this is the idea of email, and just that it's a way to get somebody on the phone. Like, it's a tool to get somebody on the phone. So anyway, that's a segue into back to what you were talking about. I just wanted to mention that.
I have a couple things that because I think we have some time, because this time, last two chapters were like a lot of information. This one, I think we have a little more time to maybe interact. But the I did one of my first time home buyers that I'm working with actually was very, very appreciative. I mean, these people are close to 50 years old, and the couple had never owned a home.
Wow.
And and it's a little unusual situation because they're actually buying a home that they've been renting for 10 years.
Okay.
But the seller told them to get a realtor, and so they got me. But and I did know, I have known them for quite a while, but I still wanted to make sure that I walked them through each and every paragraph, and they were very, very appreciative. Although I have another couple that, you know, they're seasoned, and I just emailed them the paperwork after they told me what they wanted. She actually emailed me, this is what I want to offer, this is my terms, this is, you know, so I had everything in writing on an email, and I went ahead and produced the offer and sent it through DigiSign. But yeah, I was going to mention something else, and now I forgot.
Well, it has a lot to do with personalities too, like the whole DISC personality profile. Like if you're a D, like I don't even, you know, like just, or even an I, they don't care about those details. I know, because I'm a D and an I, and I just, whatever, just where do I sign? What does it mean? And where do I sign? And I have one more question. And I sign, you know?
I have to say that this book is actually huge. Actually, all the books that I've read up since January, the 6 books that I've read, have helped me, because last night I've had really late nights this whole week, and last night as I'm driving home, I'm thinking to myself, I'm working the steps in this book, because when I left my client's house last night at 10:30, they were like, give me some cards, because they said, Julie, you are amazing. I can't believe, you know, what you've done for us. And I said, hey, the biggest thing you can do for me is find me some more buyers and sellers, you know, kind of just joking and laughing. And I reached into my backpack to get a card, and I had like a stack, because I had just done the first time homebuyer class, and in a paper clip, in a big clip, and they go, give me some of those. So I gave each of them like 3 or 4, and they both said that at their jobs they had people that they're talking to, and oh my gosh, Julie, yes, we're going to absolutely, you know, hand your card. So I just thought to myself, wow, I'm working the steps in this book. Cool. That was cool. So, anyways, yeah, so it says here, email is the promise of the future phone call. So, magical email should be used to inform, confirm, or get people on the phone. I have a really good example real quick. I did the first the bridal show in January, and I got a little first time home buyer thing, one of these little things that they filled out to win $100. Yeah, nice. It's just their name and their email and their phone number, you know, their wedding date, and if they're thinking about buying. Well, this one gal filled out her information, and she told me that she and her fiance, who was there, were going to buy a home. They actually gave me the criteria, because I was asking of what they're looking for, and she gave me her phone and email. Well, I called her after the show. She's a nurse or whatever, so it wasn't a good time to talk. She told me to call at noon the next day. I did. She didn't answer. So I left a message. I called the next day. She didn't answer. So I'm like, okay. I text her. Nothing. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna set her up on the search and just get these searches going, because she gave me the criteria. So I set up on the search, and I'm asking questions, and, you know, hey, this is, I set the search up for you. I get nothing. And I get CC'd on all these emails going out. So every day there's new stuff going out to her. I get nothing. Mm-hmm. So finally, I was CC'd on one, and just this week, I actually saw a cute little house that went to her, and I forwarded it to her, knowing that she got it anyways.
Right, but just like I saw this house,
and I said, hey, Erin, this is a really cute house. Do you and Justin want to go see it? I said, And by the way, I have, do you want me to stop these searches? Am I annoying you here? I don't remember my
Right.
exact word, but I'm like, I haven't heard from you. I will absolutely stop these if this is, and I
Right.
got a response. I
Like,
got a response. And I thought she was going to come to the first time home buyer class last night, but she ended up having to work late. But she told me that her fiance lost his job in January, got laid off, and hasn't
mm-hmm.
been able to find work. So my next response to her wasn't anything about real estate. It was, what type of work is he looking for? Because
Yeah.
I thought maybe I can help him. Maybe I can network.
Maybe you know somebody.
Something. The next day she emailed me and said he actually just was offered a job that day. And so things, and then she started asking me about real estate. So
Great.
anyways, I was
I
like,
like it. Good job.
persistent, persistent. Um, uh, so GRE, guaranteed response email. Send an email to all your Bs, which will cause them to give you a call.
Mm-hmm.
On the call, you ask them if you are the chosen one using the "Am I the chosen one" script.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote the script down here. If you if you had a friend or a neighbor who was looking to sell a home, who would you recommend they call?
Mm-hmm.
And, after the question, you will know if they are an A, a C, or a D. By the end of the call, you should have no more Bs. By the end of all the calls, you should have no more. End of the call, you should have no more Bs in your database. If they have established a relationship with another industry professional, delete them.
Okay.
Yeah. One tip to get people's emails is to invite them to enter a contest and email their entries. So email is good to introduce people who need to connect and to refer someone to your community, confirm appointments, or pass on other information. Don't use email to sell, persuade, influence, or close a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, email. Some people use email. Some people are text. In this day and age, texting is big. But So build your online community through time blocking and focus. I'm struggling with time blocking.
Yeah. Me too. I I can't figure it out. I mean, oh, and I should mention, my son moved back in with me, which I'm super actually really excited about because I missed him so much.
Aww.
In like a year and a half, and I'm like, my office is now in my bedroom, which is totally fine because I have so much room in here. But my cat's on the bed, so anyway. But yeah, I really struggle with time blocking too. So it's something I really want to. I got to 10x my time blocking. Okay.
That's no time block. Okay. Start with a plan. Okay. Organize your calls. Or organize them that makes you start with the most valuable people first. If
Okay.
your clients and ambassadors are on social media, check on them every day. Friends and family can be less often. So the other day, I'm in the bathroom doing my hair, getting ready, and I just blasted, quite like I swear I'm probably texting for people. Whatever my last whatever was with me came so over like everyone was responding. It was kind of funny. Make it a point to build these online relationships offline at your network staff.
I saw somebody in the KD Core discussion group today say, I'm posting like, I don't know if she said 3 times a week or 3 times a day, like squeeze pages, and she's not getting anything. And so my question to her is, you know, are you interacting with other people's posts? Are you liking, you know, are you liking other people's stuff? Are you liking other pages? Are you sharing other people's stuff and their, you know, business page stuff onto your personal profile or on your business page? Like, you know, you got to move, you got to interact, and then, you know, kind of make yourself somebody that people want to interact with online. And then, you know, people will start interacting with your stuff and sharing your stuff. It's just because you come up more. If you're just like, you know, posting and not giving, you're not going to get anything. So it's not just like, oh, post this and then ta-da, you get all these leads. I mean, that happens once in a blue moon with certain strategies, but you don't want to overdo that either. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, that's super important. And maybe we should, you know, talk about the network stack? You know, that's where
I want to find out. Yeah, I really want to do that. Are you doing that yet? Are you making this happen?
No, I think, Sylvia, I was almost going to text you yesterday or message you and just say, I feel like I'm in your boat. I can't. This morning, I kid you not, I woke up. I mean, I've been trying to get up, you know, early, and today I looked at my clock and it said 5:38, and I went, oh, I'll sleep till 6 because I got home at 11 last night. I've earned it. And then I went, whoa, I got book club. I got to get up.
I know. Well, part of that, do you guys have daylight savings time in?
Yeah, we lost an hour.
We lost an hour, and it's really affected me this week, just so you know, feel better. But what do you think? And I don't know if anybody else would be into this. I know Jeff wants to start working on the stacking stuff too, but he had the tragedy that happened with his, you know, friends the other week, but so he'll get back on track. But I'm thinking about starting doing the stacking thing. I'm thinking either I want to do it on a Thursday, and I'm thinking either, you know, starting Thursday at lunchtime and then going through the afternoon, or just Thursday afternoon coffee time and going to the Starbucks that I like and just doing it like that. You know, and if, you know, if I don't have anybody that for that time slot or whatever, I can just work, you know, but would anybody else like to do it at the same time that I'm doing it? That we can all do it at the same times? Or, I mean, it's going to be hard for you.
I'll try it.
Or just on the same day or something. I don't know. And then we can say, hey, I'm doing this networking stacking on Thursday. Oh, it doesn't have to be on the same day. We could just, in the Go Getter Book Club, we could post like, hey, I'm going to do a networking stacking time on such and such a day at such and such a time slot at such and such a place, you know, and I've got, you know, I'm working on setting up my appointments, you know, and then we could all like kind of comment on the same stream or something. We can kind of maybe I'll make a post like, hey, use this post to comment on your networking stack goals this week, or, you know, and then we can kind of all comment and then, you know, say, okay, that, you know, I got this many invites, I got this many confirmations, and then we can kind of report back to each other how it went. We could try that a couple times. I don't know, it's just an idea.
Would you be getting people who title company people, or all clients or friends, or how?
I don't know. Did I talk about before how I that one electrician guy, for example, messaged me?
Yeah.
On LinkedIn. So like what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna reach out to him. And then, you know, I already do a lot of stuff with like title company guys and you know, inspectors and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to start with maybe, you know, a few like stragglers, people that I haven't met before, like electricians and stuff like that. And then I think what I'm going to do is kind of gear it towards my, my Homekeeper app, and like with these types of people, like contractor type people, and show them the app and how I want to refer people to them. And, you know, and and then ask them,
That's
that's what I want to do for you, and, kind of back
yeah.
and forth. I don't know yet. Okay.
Yeah. One of my first time home buyers is an employee at an electrician. He's an electrician, and yeah, I mean, anybody that you talk to that isn't in the industry, like an electrician or a plumber or whatever profession they're in, uh, you know, the more you do for them, the more they can open it up to their
right.
network.
So anyway, I don't have a solid plan. I just want to start doing it. And then my best way for operating in life is just to start doing stuff, and then it starts coming together. It's just me, but
I'm right there. I'll do it with you. Let's do a plan. Let's figure it out, and we'll
do it. Okay.
Okay. Back on track. Okay.
Success stories.
It says here, if you're, so your clients are ambassadors and are on social media, check in with them every day. Friends and family can be less often.
Yeah.
Make it a point to build these online relationships offline at your networking stack. Post your success stories on a blog, your status updates.
What kind of success stories? Like
maybe like posting that you connected with somebody, and who they are, and what they do. I don't know.
Jeff, what do you think?
This is something I think this weekend I'm setting a goal to get like 6 of them done. But what I have in mind for the success stories is telling the story of a time that a client came to you with a particular problem, and maybe it's a little more unique than just, hey, I want to buy a house, or hey, I want to sell my house.
Mm-hmm.
But tell the story how they approached you, how you approached the problem with them, and how you solved it. And of course, tell the happy stuff at closing, we handed the keys, that kind of stuff. But, if you have 6 to even a dozen of these things where you're regularly sending them out to people or using them in a blog post or a Facebook post, I'm also thinking that I want to have the story in typed form, but I also want to tell the story on video.
Yeah.
So that there's a couple of different ways you can use it that way. But I think if you get enough of them, if you have somebody approach you with a problem similar to one you've solved,
mm-hmm.
especially if you are competing potentially with another agent,
mm-hmm.
you can just shoot them a quick video and or typed out story. And look, I've already solved a problem just like yours.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. I think that's a pretty quick, pretty slick way to tell the people that you're the one.
It's different, but so somebody, I've been doing all these KV core trainings for free. I do all these KV core trainings for free, and I never intended to start charging people to actually also set up their KV core for them, because I don't really have time for that. But I started doing it because people are charging ungodly amounts to people to do it for them. And I'm just like, okay, I could do the same thing and not charge as much. And I can make some extra money. I could use a little extra money right now. I'm waiting for these 2 other closings happening. And so anyway, I started doing all this. I started doing it after I started doing all these free videos. And so somebody in KV Core posted like, hey, I have an agent that desperately needs help with getting her KV Core set up. Please message me and I'll explain it to you. And I didn't do anything, and I didn't even see the post, but 3 different people commented like Sylvia Dana, which that felt really nice. And so I just commented like, yeah, anything, if there's something I can help with, let me know. I think I didn't even comment. I just messaged her. I'm like, what is it that you need? That's what I did. I messaged her, what is it that you need? And then it turned out she didn't need to pay anybody. She just needed help like dealing with KV Core support to get answers. And so I just did it. I just did it for her. Took me 5 minutes. But all these other people who do sell like KV Core training, or they sell KV Core setup, were posting like all the links to their services, you know? And it was just like, don't do that.
Nice.
You know, just say, how can I help you? You know? And you know what happened as a result? This is a broker of another state. She's like, Sylvia, can I pay you to come into our meetings for my state and train my agents?
Wow.
I'm like, sure. But anyway, just a little, this whole idea of just developing online relationships and being of service and offering help. Like Jeff was saying, this is what I can do to help you.
Yeah.
And this is how I help somebody else.
Yeah. And you helped somebody else and didn't expect anything in return. And then look at what it did is it prompted somebody else to come to you and say, we want to pay you while you do this. So it opened you up. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and and it's for us. I just want to say one more thing about that. Sometimes it's hard to offer all this stuff free, and then I feel obligated, and I'm doing it. And then if something else happens in my life where I kind of get ripped off, I feel, or if things are just a struggle or something happens, then I'm like, oh gosh, why am I doing all this? But then something like that happens, and again, that's just something small, but still it happened. And I have a lot of other stories like that, but it just made me feel like, okay, this is going somewhere. And I like helping. So you can just keep doing that. And yeah, so.
I love that you like helping because you're good
I like helping.
You're good at it.
I'm good at helping.
The next one says, share your incoming and outgoing referral goals once a month by something like, I want to give 100 referrals and receive 50 referrals this year. Who can I refer you to? Who do you know that needs real estate service? So I guess you would post that on social media or email it?
I don't know. What do you think, Jeff? Jeff's yawning. What would you do to ask to present your referral goals to somebody?
I think the point, if I take it, the way I take the point is that this is not just a general blast, but within a conversation with somebody. So whether it is social media or whatever, but I think I kind of thought the same thing. Like, well, it's easy. I can make a post and blast it out there and see what happens. But I think in the context and where it takes place in the book, talking about how emails can be taken wrong is not the most effective way. I feel like that conversation is more one-on-one.
One-on-one. Like, hey, this is my goal.
Hey, this is my goal. Do you have,
And one-on-one, I mean, it could be a messenger conversation. I think right. As long as you're conversing, not a blast.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What you do online will only be as effective as what you do offline. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then now we're going to talk about the online community.
Okay.
Yeah. You grow your online community by the spirit of helpfulness, like Sylvia, and encouragement. Use it to increase your phone calls, cross-sell, or confirm your one-on-one appointments.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's fun, what I liked about your notes is, like, as soon as I was writing these notes, Julia was like, wait, what is cross-selling? And then you answered my question. So good job.
That's awesome. Okay, cross-sell. When two people sell each other rather than sell themselves. An example, you would email a positive message about Michelle to your buyer, client, and Michelle would send a positive email to the same client. So blind copy the person you are cross-selling in the email. You can also do it in social media sites. Use video on social media sites to keep it personal.
So as an example, I'm just trying to think, how could I use this? So like I had, when I did my home buyer seminar a couple weeks ago, you know, the lender, there's a lender and an insurance guy and also like an Alan Edwin sales rep for a new home builder. Like with those people, I could send an email, you know, to say, hey, this State Farm insurance guy is great. You know, you met him at our home buyer seminar, and I just want to remind you about him, and I've used him for this, this, and this, blah, blah, blah. And then blind copy him on the email. And then he also sends an email. Oh, you know, met you at the home buyer seminar. Isn't Sylvia great? I worked with her on blah, 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 you know, and da, da, da. And then he blind copies me. Is that,
Yeah.
and is that something how you could use it? I mean, gosh, it's so much work, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just coming up with these processes. Okay.
Yeah, that's, I've actually done this in the last week. I can't remember the exact example, but I believe, yeah, or even like a referring email too. Couldn't you like?
Oh, like I want to introduce you to so and so.
When you're introducing somebody to someone,
Mm-hmm.
I've done that several times through email. You know, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Regarding that, I use BombBomb, but OpenReel, you could do the same thing. You could develop some dialogue, like for your lender partner or partners.
Yeah.
Develop some dialogue that is basically a referral, but something you could record and sort of use as a template.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I'm sending you so and so because, man, they're the best at what they do, and they make sure they take care of you, and that's the kind of person I would want you to be working with. So you can have it available to send out, but I think every time you do, it would be wise to blind copy that person you're referring so that they can know who they should be expecting to contact them.
Gotcha. So have it at least in a template, whether it's with a video template message and or a canned response, and then it's just there so you can, okay, that helps. That's a good suggestion. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In the book, it actually gave these 2 recommendations. So I have like a Excel spreadsheet, I kid you not, that has over 80 books.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I put it in, and the orange ones here are the ones I've read. So I'm starting this list, but it's huge. It's huge.
Oh my gosh.
I just keep adding it. Anytime somebody says, "Oh, you got to check this book out," I just write it down and put it in my Excel, whatever.
You should share. You should share a PDF of that Excel spreadsheet into our group.
Okay. Well, I could. I don't.
Yeah, just say this is what you were talking about, and this is all added so far. You know, just to share. Okay.
Okay, I could do that. But these 2 books apparently are recommended. Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk, and then the audio book Permission Marketing by Seth Godin. Have either of you heard of those books?
I heard of both of them.
Yeah.
Me as well, but I have not read either one.
Yeah. Okay, transformation. Initial consultation, you offer your clients, create for buyers, sellers, and investors. Imagine you are following your client into his home, and the power is out. As he's walking, I like this example. As he's walking in, heading to get some candles, he tells you, watch out for the vase on the left. You probably will walk real slowly until there's light, okay? But if there was already light, you would follow him with no problem, right? The client consultations are one of the most important meetings. It walks them through every step. It's like throwing on the lights to the process of buying, selling, and investing. It shows your professionalism right off the bat, builds trust, and gives them confidence to move through the entire process more quickly. I love that analogy.
Great analogy.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
The last chapter on building your online community, I don't know if this is a shameless, well, it's not for myself, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hank Avink and
Yes, I love Hank.
his 36 to life is exactly this build your online community. I mean,
I've never heard of it.
it's
What's the
probably broken down. This one chapter, Hank can teach a 1 to 2 hour session 6 times a week, or 6 weeks, and cover this topic that much in detail. I mean, it's a really well refined system for building that online community and building relationships online. So I highly recommend 36 to Life if you don't know about it.
I have it on my list. I'm very, actually Hank doing the iConversations, loved him doing that. And I've actually started following him on Facebook, and some of his live Facebook stuff that he does is just so real. I love it when he's driving in the car and he's got his dog in the back, seat, just sitting there driving. He's dropping his kids off at school, and he's just talking about real life stuff. I mean, he's awesome. And so you've actually gone through some of his training?
Oh gosh, yeah. I've been through 36 to Life probably 4 or 5 times. I think I've brought 6, 7 agents maybe into 36 to Life with me. I've done his time management summit. And yeah, I only live, I don't know, an hour and 40 minutes from where he's at, and he now has a retreat that he brings some of his people to kind of do crash courses or.
So you feel like it's helped you with your real estate, honestly?
Yeah, and actually, it's right along the lines of this book. And now, the more I read this book, the more I realize Hank is probably a student of this book. But it's actually more about just figuring out how to be there for people and pay attention to what's going on in their lives. And so again, the theme of this book, it's not just business based. It's about being a real human being and figuring out how to be there for people. So it's sharp.
That's awesome. How do I find out more about 36? Do I just go to his website or something? Or?
I think if you go, he has a site called National Coaching League.
Okay.
You'll find 36 to Life there. But if you're following him on Facebook, you will definitely find reference to 36 to Life. He's starting some other coaching programs. One's called Success Code, which is like the 6 key things to success. But it's based on 36 to Life concepts. But I think if you look at his Facebook content enough, you'll find some. And he doesn't have regularly scheduled sessions necessarily. He, drums up interest, and when he has enough interest, he'll start another session with people. But I've been in sessions with one of his coaches, not him necessarily, because he has probably 15, 20 active coaches that do 36 to Life on his behalf. But I've been in sessions where there are 5 or 6 people, and I've been in sessions where there are like 40 to 50 people.
Wow.
And what you take out of it isn't necessarily any different, because it's about who's in the class and who's engaging and interacting or whatever. But I really can't recommend it enough.
Nice. Is it astronomically expensive?
No.
Okay.
Jeff, what city do you live in? What town?
I am in Owasso.
You're in Owasso.
Yeah, just down the east side of Lansing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I used to say in between Flint and Lansing, but
that's like a big.
Wrong kind of, yeah.
Okay.
You guys are both in Michigan, right?
Uh-huh.
And so is Hank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Where are we at?
We're
almost done.
Yeah, this is my last page here. Each one, teach one.
Wait. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Each one, teach one. Taking responsibility for explaining it to someone else will give you ownership of the material.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep teaching, you'll be hungry to learn more. write notes, make phone calls, network how there is a strategy for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Each one, teach one. So then I wrote all these down. So the blessing book, and I tried to write for my notes. So I'll go through here. The blessing book, a journal to write appreciations and affirmations. Affirmations are positive self-talk. The first and 10 calls are written the night before. Those are people to reach out to, to call.
Okay.
And the magic question. The magic question.
What is the magic question?
Yeah, I have an asterisk by it, and I'm not sure why.
It's not the chosen one script, is it?
I feel like it's possible that's what the magic question was.
I think so too. Why doesn't it have just one name? Is it the chosen one script, or is it the magic question? Which one is it?
Why did I put an asterisk by it? Maybe
I don't know. We're gonna go with it's the chosen one question.
Yeah.
Script.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna go with.
The triangle of trust. That's where you do the introductions.
Mm-hmm.
Planning out phone calls for the year. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Guaranteed response email invites people to call you. Success stories, like we just talked about, a narrative about one of your clients. Note writing. And then the generosity generation, global referral community. And then I wrote down the acronym FROG to remember what to ask other people, right? Family is F, R, recreation, O, occupation, and G, goals. So when you're talking to people, those are the things to keep in mind, to keep it about them.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I've been writing notes lately. I actually, and it's working, because I had somebody, I think I told you guys last week that my parents wanted to find a painter, and I contacted a painter that I went to school with, 30 some years ago, and he's still in the business, and I ended up connecting those two. And after I had, through text messages, how I reached out to him, and then I sent him a note, and I said, hey, I'd love to get together with you and my husband and I'd love to get together with you and your wife, because I went to school with, he married his high school sweetheart, so I know him from that, and he said, I talked to him through text, asking him another question about my parents and thanking him for reaching out, because my parents did have him over. They are going to use him to paint their house.
Oh.
And, yeah. And I just said, hey, I heard you're going to take care of my parents. Thank you. And he goes, thanks for the note the card you sent me. So yeah. So I mean, it's working, and the cards are working. Just I've been trying to do it a little every day. A couple people, I actually go back in my text messages or my emails and look, who have I talked to that I need to just say, something.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's fantastic.
Power notes. It's not 10. I don't do 10 or whatever. It's just however many. And then I went to the post office the other day, and I got all kinds of different stamps. I got John Lennon cool stamps, just the different personalities, Scooby-Doo.
Stamps, I think they're like stickers. They give you some personality, like, oh, this is fun. Jeff, what were you gonna say?
I that's probably the one thing that I have been consistently doing out of 7L is the cards and the notes.
Nice.
And I actually found I'm out of them now. I want to see if I can buy it. It goes there were 2 cards in a set of 10 that were like goofy animal selfie type pictures. And one of them was a kangaroo standing in front of, you could tell it was a bedroom mirror, and it was taking a selfie. It had a cell phone out in front of it, but there was in the background, there was a kangaroo like in kind of a sexy pose. And
Photobombing it?
yeah.
A photo bomb? No.
And it was the funniest dang card. Well, anyway, I used a whole bunch of other kind of goofy, quirky cards too. But today, as a result of those cards sparking conversation, somebody calling and saying thanks or whatever for the card, I have my first technically networking stack. I have a 12:30 and a 1:30 at the same. I think I told you last week that I was struggling to get like back-to-back appointments.
What day?
Today.
Oh, you're doing it today. Okay.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of funny because it's 2 old friends that are also past clients, but today starts the Big Ten basketball tournament, or at least daytime one. So both of them said, hey, if you want to see me, we're going to have to go somewhere and watch basketball. So
nice.
Afternoon beer and basketball, I think is
nice.
Pretty nice little networking stack, but they were prompted from those cards. So.
Mm-hmm. What time of the day are you doing it?
12:30 and 1:30.
12:30 and 1:30.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool.
I love it.
I love it. That's all I have for this week, you guys. So
okay, how many more chapters are there?
I don't have my Kindle in front of me. There's
I think it's chapter 11 or no 12. Chapter 12 is.
Okay, so we're gonna do chapters 10 through 12 is the last chapter.
I think so. Yeah, it appears to be 12. Yep.
So next week is our last week, isn't it?
Well, so here's my plan. Here's what I think, that next week we'll do all the rest of the chapters, okay? And then the next week, I feel like I need this to meet one more time to just kind of each of us share who wants to. Like there's some people that come on and just hang out and don't say anything. That's fine. But we could just all come on and share what we're going to focus on from the book, what, take out most important takeaways, success we've already had. Like I want to hear about, what Jeff's doing with his stacking, and we're going to be working on that, you and me, Julie. And just kind of one more, like we're not kind of going through the notes, but just kind of one more getting it in there.
Talking about how we're applying it.
Yeah,
wow.
And I finally bought the book, the hard copy, because I felt like I really needed that, so it should be arriving. And so we'll do 2 more sessions, one next week to finish the book, and then one more just mastermind. Okay, that's what I think.
Cool.
And then,
and then maybe we can talk about the next book that we should all.
I really want to do 10X. By Grant Cardone. That's what I want to do. And the reason that, I don't know if you guys follow Glenn. So Glenn Sanford in Facebook, he's like, he has too many Facebook friends now. So he decided to start just a Glenn Sanford page. So he's been posting some cool just videos of just him talking. If you find his page, and he posted one a few days ago. And he's just talking. It was just so, I don't know. I don't know why it almost makes me emotional. He's just talking about really, improving your business by 10%, or in increments, or 10xing your business. And he talks about 10xing specifically. And he also talks about like the X factor of EXP, this whole, and he uses 10xing your business as like what he's talking about. It's just really cool. And it just made me solidified, like, cause I've been wanting to do that, but it just solidified. Yes. Because I do this kind of good, and I do that kind of good. And I'm kind of spread out all over with doing a little bit every, but I need to choose a couple areas to just crush. I need to crush it. Like I want to crush it in the recruiting. I want to crush it. I want to 10x the shit out of that, like fast. So I, and also I want to 10x just my specifically transactions, so So anyway, I just really want to do the book, and I've read it several times and I've listened to it, but I want to mastermind it. So that's what I want to do.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm on my list here. I'm game.
all right.
Okay.
You guys have a great rest of your morning. I look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yeah.
And I will post the recording in the group a bit later.
Okay.
See you next week.
See you next week.
See you next week.